Hi guys, this is Refleksy again. Today I'm bringing you the Build a Bundle 2 from Groupees. It's got everything. It's got the racing game, it's got an album about the plant. You even get to help a kid with cancer. You don't want to help a kid with cancer? What the hell is wrong with you? Alright, so Dark Out is a 2D game that's... it really could not be described better than calling it a Terraria clone. So essentially it's a two-dimensional Minecraft. This game has got very little in the way of innovation, but one thing that I really liked is it automatically knows what you're mining, and so it uses the equipment that it needs. You don't have to go equip a mine pick anymore. You just go to the automatic one and it knows. There was an innovation that I could really take or leave. It's the crafting system. Instead of experimentation, there's research points, quote unquote, that are gained from exploring the map and harvesting nodes, and then you use those to research prototypes of things. It would be a pretty good idea, but you have to research things for even the most basic stuff, so it seems like it's just something to artificially linked in the gameplay. My main criticism of this game is its combat system. Lights that you build hurt enemies, but what this does, especially in the early game, is make everything hard as hell to see. It's so dark. Also, the game is really buggy, it's kind of resource hungry, and in its current state it's really hard to recommend, but it is so close to being a really good game. It just has a few problems it needs to just iron out. Greenlight is a 2D puzzle platformer, but it lacks any sort of the gimmicks and innovation that something like Braid or VVVVVV or Limbo bring to the table. The controls made even kind of simple tasks really difficult, and I'm not a fan of handholding, but these game's solutions to the puzzles are so obscure that I'm not sure if it wasn't properly playtested or the intent was to make it artificially difficult, but the difficulty combined with the horrible controls made me almost swear off playing video games forever. I would definitely stay away from Greenlight. Ichi is a puzzle game kind of in a similar vein of crayon physics, one of these flash game concepts brought into a commercial release. You need to get a moving ball to a certain other area, but instead of drawing, here you'll use triangles, bouncing the dot from one area to another. This game is really successful in introducing new concepts. It's also successful at building on old concepts, and then it's very good at producing sheer joy when your plan successfully comes together at the end. Because you got so many like balls flying around and triangles flipping and stuff, it's really hard to know if your plan's going to work from the beginning. Streaming all the games, finger in the air. All of these aspects in combination are about as much as you can ask from a puzzle game, so Ichi gets the Refleksy seal of approval. I had a little trouble getting Gravity to work properly. Even after I ran the game for a while, I had a feeling it would have been a much smoother experience if I had been able to use a controller, which it looks like it's been designed for. It's a 2D platformer in which you control some sort of strange ball of gravitational pull. The ball's able to throw that gravitational field around and pull itself around the map. It wasn't too complicated, but at the same time it didn't feel incredibly rewarding. And there wasn't any plot to speak of. I was really having a hard time trying to empathize with this strange ball of gravity. I didn't have a lot of fun with this game, and I feel like that might be because it was not working with my controller. So I'm not going to be able to recommend it. Little Racer Street is a top-down racing game that's really good at what it's trying to do. It provides a good racing game in a similar vein to old arcade-style bird-eye view racers. The game's challenging and it's really responsive and crisp in the progression through a career mode. Going from the crappy car to a really souped-up vehicle is a treat, and I really couldn't ask for anything more from this sort of game. Enamel is... well, I don't quite know what kind of game Enamel is, because I'm not quite sure that it's a game yet. It's a 2D side-scrolling something. You build a character and you get a weapon, and it's one point I was analyzing some raw meat. Everything about Enamel looks really completely unfinished. The only thing that this game has to actually do with Enamel is this stuff that came off of my teeth when I was grinding my teeth so hard playing this game. Draconian Wars is one of these games that you see every once in a while. It seeks to bring a brand new card game to the table from scratch. Now, I have played so many card games, so they hold a very special place in my heart, and for that I typically judge these sorts of games a little bit harsher than the average person. My philosophy is that, kind of like writing a book, creating a card game, you've got hundreds of cards interacting with each other in unpredictable ways. It takes a long time to get right. Even Richard Garfield, peace be unto him, creator of Magic the Gathering, had his first efforts into game creation be really not all that successful. So to see the developers of Draconian Wars not have any previous experience made me very skeptical. I mean, hey, I have a programming degree and I like magic. That's not exactly the best business model. But upon playing this game, I instantly knew that these creators had help. I remember all of this core gameplay from a card game that my half-brother brought on one of his trips from America. Star Wars collectible card game. It was in production from about 1995 to 2001, and this was a staple of my childhood. The way that the core gameplay has been taken, in my opinion, is pretty flagrant. I guess I have to reluctantly recommend it due to the fact that there's a cool way to nostalgia about this. But for serious, Decipher Incorporated, you need to sue the fuck out of these guys because they are taking your concepts. Detramente appears to be a modern remake of Robotron 2084 with really flashy colors and pretty decent retro music. It looks nice, but it's simple and the gameplay is pretty jerky. All these flash screens floating about is very distracting. It looks like a pretty faithful remake of the game, but it's hard to recommend just on that, so I'm going to say no. While the bundle actually only lists episode 2 of the version, episode 1 is also included. These are point-and-click adventure games involving some sort of amnesiac that lives in Argentina. It looks pretty polished. It's an indie game type game, but that plays like a medium or big budget title. The problem in this game becomes immediately apparent as soon as you load it up.
Good afternoon. You are awake at last.
It appears that they have outsourced the voice acting to some sort of really low talent firm. In my opinion, that's one of the most important parts of a point-and-click adventure game, so why would you outsource that? That's terrible. I really don't know which is worse, mispronouncing words.
After the 2015 attack, Buenos Aires was taken over by a parliamentary organization.
Deadpan acting?
Doctor! Doctor! My ankle is hurting me. I can't stand up.
Okay, calm down.
It hurts so badly. I must have broken something. I can't stand the pain.
I don't think anything's broken. Maybe what's troubling you is some internal swelling. I'll see what I have to ease your pain.
I'm sorry,
Doctor,
I'm very sorry.
it really
but
hurts.
If you say it's
I
not
think
that
I
bad,
broke
I'd
it.
rather...
Not having the characters' dialogue match each other in context?
I'll do my best to keep quiet and stop bothering you.
No, definitely. I'll never understand them, no matter how hard I try.
Or mispronouncing the name of the city that you live in.
A typical phone booth from Buenos Aires.
Buongiorno.
Other than the voice acting, the only thing I can really complain about is how disappointingly short these episodes are. I finished them both in about an hour, and I can't really recommend them. Ensign 1 is a first-person space shooter game with an interesting concept because at any given time you can go out of this ship and float around in space, or man the turret on the ship, or go infiltrate a base. There's music and sound in this game. I can see it in the game files, but I could not get it to work for me. That having been said, what could I do but improvise? Alright, so there's no sound, so I gotta play it for myself. The sound. Pew 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 pew. Alright, here we go. Pew 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 pew. Pew 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 pew. This game is not finished by any stretch of the imagination, and even if it were polished, it's so generic and samey that I still could not recommend it. Crow is one of those games. You know, the usual same old where a demon possesses a crow and uses him as a pawn to capture the powers of other evil creatures, that whole thing. As much as I like an artsy games are only as good as their artsy gameplay. Crow bounces back and forth between weird hide-and-seek for crow-based upgrades and awkward combat consisting of dodging projectiles and using crow magic to kill bad guys. It's really weird and I cannot recommend this game. In addition to the games that you also get as a bonus 2 albums. This one looks like Jackie Chan when his brain is full of fuck. This one has a plant on it. Alright, out of all of that, we've got 4 decent games. This is what your bundle should look like if you're at home keeping score. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Refleksy, and if you have any comments, I would like to hear them, positive or negative. If you liked this video, liking and subscribing would help me out tremendously. I don't put videos out there all that often, but I'd really like to change that. If you want to see more of my work, I did a video on AirMech if you want to check that out. I can't think of any reason why you guys would want to watch a video on an expired bundle, but if you wanted to, here is the Indie Royale Debut 2 bundle. Also, I might produce a video one day on my new computer build. I will put that there, and also someday I might produce my video on my favorite Dota 2 hero, Sand King. Alright, bye bye.